bitch, get naked.
Now I'm recording. Now it's Run That episode 6, baby. Let's do this, baby. Run That episode 6. Now I'm hyped up because there's a camera going and it's recording. I got my Facebook Live angle. Looks like my viewers kind of lost interest, but it's okay, folks. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm jolly. If you're trying to have a good time, you can tune in to Run That episode 6 because it's going to be a good time. Now, what is episode 6 about? Hold on, let me tell you. Hold on. I'm trying to tell you, but I'm having trouble doing that because I'm getting sick. Getting sick to my stomach. I'm getting sick in the throat. I'm getting sick in my eyes. My hands are getting crippled up. My shoulder bones hurt. My shins are splinting. My fucking toes broken. And I literally have been throwing up and shitting my pants all day for the past 12 hours because I heard the college football ranking fucking playoffs came out. I heard what happened. We got the 1 through 4 bracket came out, and you got Ohio State at 5 left out of the tournament, even though they're the Big Ten champions, and you got Alabama, Roll Tide, rolling their big old dicks on into the tournament, even though they're the co-champions of the SEC. No. You're the co-champions of the SEC West, a.k.a. there's no such thing as co-champions in football. Second place is not called co-champion. That's called the first loser, motherfucker. You lost. You lost. You know co-champion. There's no such thing as co-champion. You lost. But now you're in the football playoffs, and now I'm sick to my stomach, and my balls are going to fall off, and I'm literally going to shit myself for the 14th time if I keep thinking about this. So that's why I got to come to you folks, you great, beautiful people who listen to Run That Podcast. I got to come to you, and I got to do some bitching. Today's episode is going to be all about bitching about the college football playoffs. Maybe I will suggest some ways to fix this, some ways to improve this bullshit system. And then, finally, at the end of the podcast, I will conform to society in this bullshit system that we have, and I will divulge and not break down the games because I don't care that much, and it's a little early for that, but I'll get you some early picks and parlays to look out for on these 4 playoff games because although bullshit, there is some money out there. We all love sports money. We all love that dirty money, don't we? Hell yeah. If you're a Run That Podcast fan, you're probably a dirty money lover. So wait till the very end of the podcast and we're going to talk about how to make some of that dirty money on this bullshit college football playoffs. But first, before we start going off and bitching and making suggestions on how to improve your silly little system, let me give a shout out to some great people. There's some great people over at trees.com. Happiness delivered. Happiness delivered. Get that. You guys like your happiness? I do. When I heard about the college football rankings going down, I fucking pooped, and then I peed, and then I threw up, and I was like, oh, I can't make it to work. I'm going to lose money tonight because I can't make it to work because I'm sick. And I was like, hold on. Let me go on my phone. Let me order up some happiness and get a little bag of Kush delivered to me. Puff up, and now I feel great again. Now I feel human. Now I can go to my shift. Now I can be productive. Now I can do my thing because I've had my happiness delivered to me from trees.com. It's good stuff, folks. Trust me on that. It's so good that I'm actually going to indulge right now. I'm going to spark up this little backwood full of trees.com product. Because honestly, you don't want me off this marijuana. Right now in this state, once I get to going about Ohio State and Bama's fucking off conference schedule, I might punch a hole in the screen. I'm going to get upset. I might even get sick and start puking and peeing again. So before that, to prevent any of that bullshit from happening, I'm going to smoke a little, and everybody's probably like, oh my goodness, he's smoking weed on Facebook. This kid's crazy. You know what's crazy? The college football system. The playoff system's crazy. So, you know what? Fuck it. Let's play ball. Playoffs. Up smoking weed on the show. He's smoking weed on the show. Run that. Run that. Let me get my notes going so I don't forget and lag. And so I can just bitch. Just bitch. let's get to bitching. We got Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, and then Alabama in the college football playoffs. How was this decided, folks? A committee of coaches and writers, sports journalists get together, or experts as they say, and then football coaches. Motherfucker, you guys are coaching the goddamn kids who are playing in it. Y'all don't get to decide who's in the championship. It's like Bill Belichick. Who do you think should be in the playoffs this year? He's gonna tell you literally. You say, "Hey, pick 4 teams who should play for the championship game." You ask Bill Belichick the question with no form of sarcasm, no form of jokeness, with dead serious to his bones and core. Bill Belichick will tell you, New England Patriots. The Patriots. The New England Patriots. And the Patriots of New England. And he's not fucking joking because he's dead serious about winning football games. He wants his team to win championships. Therefore, he's going to do whatever he can to put his team in the best position to do so. So first of all, why the fuck are we having coaches pick who decides to play in the playoffs? There's 32 teams in the NFL. About 1 billion in college football. And 80% of those are slapdick teams. We know that. But I'm just saying, there's 1 million teams in the NFL. Why is there 4 playoff spots? 4 playoff spots doesn't make sense. Coaches picking the people who get to play in the playoffs doesn't make sense. But one thing that does make sense is this trees.com kush. I'm telling you, every time I get to going, about to start cussing, about to start peeing myself, possibly getting personal, possibly getting racial, I just hit a little bit of the kush, and I calm down, and I get back on track. So, don't get alarmed. We're having a good time here. I'll tell you what else is a good time. Going to a college football game. One of the purest things you can do in this world is engage in sports activities. It's a group of people rallying together. If you listen to people who study evolution, they say a form of pure human happiness, like what can a human do to achieve that like pure bliss? And through evolution, through studies, it's shown that like we're meant to be in small groups of people in harsh conditions, or that's where we come from. Small groups of people in harsh conditions coming together to achieve a goal. Well, that sounds a lot like football. 53 people on a roster. Whether you're the favorite or the underdog, you guys are all using your own set of skills to combine them to a team goal of winning the game. It's a pure fucking thing. It's very pure. Now, if you go to an NFL game, that stadium's filled up of some of the people are there for their own reasons. Fantasy football, gambling, little kids who don't know shit, business meetings, bandwagon fans, and blacked out kids, blacked out people. You go to a college football game, half the crowd is going to be filled with blacked out kids. Promise you that. Not going to fight you on that. But the other half, the other 50%, those little kids give a shit. You go to an NFL game, you're going to see little kids bundle up in their little Alex Smith jerseys and their Derek Carr jerseys. They don't know a damn thing about football. You go to a USC game, you're going to see those kids tossing that ball in that parking lot. You know why? Because they want to go to USC. It's obtainable to them. They think that's obtainable. It's not obtainable for a 9-year-old kid to say, I'm going to play for the Niners. He doesn't know that. It's obtainable for a kid to think, I'm going to at least go to this school. So you go to a USC game, man, you see these little kids in these jerseys running around that parking lot, and with no names on the back of the jerseys. It's not a Matt Leinart jersey or a Matt Barkley jersey. It's a USC jersey with the number on the back. That's it. A lot of personal pride and a lot of pageantry goes into college football. Along with those little kids who are planning on going to that college is people either currently attending that college who are blacked out drunk, or parents uncles, cousins, and grandparents who have went to that school or who are related to people who went to that school. It's a very communal thing. College football is way more communal than NFL. NFL is dope. It's amazing. I love it. I get boners over every Sunday. But the pageantry and the pure spirit of college football, there's actually, in this world, there's very few things like it. So what makes me sick to my stomach is when you muck it up by ranking them by computers and other coaches in very, very selfish ways, because we all know that Alabama, as a co-champion of the division, shouldn't be in the playoff, shouldn't have moved forward in the season. So last game of the year, you lost it, you don't get to fucking keep playing. You can have, we'll give you your consolation bowl game so everybody gets to fucking make money and watch you play one more time. That's cool. I'm down for that. That seems fucking fair. But what doesn't seem fair at all is that your season gets to continue and you get to go compete for a national championship that, I mean, if you want to get weird about it, it means a lot to your school. You're talking about scholarships. You're talking about money. That's the main thing everyone's fucking playing for these days is money. If you win that national championship, you just get way more dollars towards your school. But to me, more than that, you get the trophy, man. You get to be the number one team of the year. And Alabama lost a football game. They lost their championship game. They lost. They did not win. They scored less points than the other team. And yet, they get to continue to go compete for that championship. It's fucking off to me. But if you turn on ESPN or if you turn on fucking great Paul Feinbaum show, they're going to tell you how amazing that was. That they actually did it right. Because they were the best team. The best team deserves to win. Well, you know what? If it's just the best teams that we think are the best, that people not playing the game or watching from the outside think are the best, then what the fuck are we playing the game for? If we're talking about NFL, then why are we even playing these 16 weeks? Like, fuck, what's the point? Let's just line up Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady every one game a year and just call it quits. If we're just going to decide who's the best teams and like, okay, we got Clemson, we got Bama, we got Oklahoma, and we got Georgia. We'll take two SEC teams because there's a lot of money down there and people love SEC football. Let's run the ball. Let's do that. Let's see that on TV. That's what you did. That's boring. What if we did that with the NFL? Would you like that? What if we're like, all right, so Drew Brees, he's on the Saints. They're really cool. Tom Brady, of course. Eli Manning, because Manning's on there. Is Peyton Manning in the league? Peyton's not in the league anymore? No. And we need one more. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we'll just have those guys go at it. We'll just have a little 14 tournament because those are the best guys. And fuck what else happens the regular season. Let's just go with that. How stupid did that sound? That sounded dumb. I didn't even make a coherent really fucking thought either. It all sounded stupid because it's a stupid idea. Pisses me off. Pisses me off. It's a flawed system, and it's very interesting. If you know anything about the college football system throughout the regular season, like the NFL, we're talking about how they get to the playoffs. We're talking about record, straight wins and losses. Well, in college football, you can't necessarily do that because you got teams like the University of Central Florida who play nobody. They win all 12 games. We can't say that Central Florida deserves to be the number one team in the nation because they didn't play anybody. They played bullshit schools. So you do have to have some type of like double ranking system where you get the eye test of how they look, and then you got the record, and then you got the stats. You have to do that. I get that, but I just feel like, so I get that system. I dig that, but I gotta just say, and any expert would call me crazy, but they don't show the West Coast teams any love. That's it. Point blank. Period. You want to see why I'm upset? Yeah, I know our system's bullshit, but the system kind of has to happen. You do have to take into consideration the strength of schedule. You have to take that into consideration. It's one of the biggest things to take into consideration. But why do we stay so biased to teams in the Midwest and the South? Why do they show no love to the West Coast? And I get it. I'm from the West Coast. Of course, I'm going to be for them, for us. But they straight up value bottom half of the SEC teams and all SEC teams way more than the Pac-12. Like right from the jump of your season, you're saying Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU are going to, no matter what fucking happens, they're better than UCLA, Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Washington, Washington State, just because that's Southern football. Southern football is better than West Coast football. How about we just look at the stats and look at the teams? Because Tennessee was 0-8. They win 2 games all year? I'm telling you, the bottom half of the SEC would get blown up by the bottom half of the Pac-12. The SEC, the top half, you got Georgia, you got Auburn, some years you got LSU, and then you got Alabama. When I say some years you got LSU, I swear I mean that. Because people are like, well, LSU's always good. They're good this year. Nah. Well, they played Alabama really good. Nah, they're not good. They fucking damn near got beat by Troy. Troy University. USC didn't get damn near beat by some slapdick team. We got beat by Washington State. Barely. And we got beat by Notre Dame. Got our asses kicked. But we didn't get barely beat. We didn't almost lose to some slapdick school. LSU almost lost to Troy, and then Alabama barely beat them. And everybody's like, oh, that's not that big a deal. I think it is a big deal. Because when USC barely wins against a school like Utah, a bottom half school in our division, we drop 2 places in the standings. Just like that. And in everybody's minds, in the writers' minds, and the coaches' minds who vote on these polls, that's a big deal for them. Why is that a big deal if it's not a big deal that LSU barely lost to Troy? They fucking suck. Alabama barely squeaks by LSU. Like, if we're going to play your bullshit system, let's play it straight up. Because the schools that Alabama are playing and barely squeaking by would get smacked by some of these schools that USC has to play week in and week out. Pac-12 gets no love because at the end of the year, majority of the teams, and even the top tier teams, have some losses. Washington has some losses. Washington State has losses. SC has losses. UCLA has a bunch of losses. Well, y'all don't get it, man. Out here in California, it's all love, but it's also a lot of rivalries. When SC plays Cal, yeah, Cal is definitely not the school of athletics as we are, but that's a rivalry game, man. They play each other tough. Troy did beat LSU. Fuck LSU. You're right. Thank you, Omar. Troy beat LSU. Jesus, Murphy. I thought they barely... Wow, I was wrong. It just proves my point even more. SEC gets handed their goods. Gift wrapped and handed their goods. Back to what I was saying. Every week in the Pac-12, we have a rivalry. Stanford, Cal. Well, Cal's not that good of an athletic team. Stanford's really good. You say that now, but like 5 years ago, it was the other way around, right? Stanford wasn't that good, but Cal is really good. Every year, these games are going to be close because California is built on the NorCal versus SoCal rivalry. And top to bottom, these kids are good at football. West Coast has got some speed. And I feel like speed, the systems that, if you want to look at bullshit ways to rank people, let's look at systems. Let's add that into mix. You think it's badass that Alabama just has all the big-ass dudes from the South, like every single one, and they just outpower everybody? You think that's cool? Or do you think that the West Coast, the talent there's so much speed and talent in the West Coast that it gets spread out through 12 teams, not just 2, and that when they play each other, it's a fucking air raid and the score is 39-52, and you go, oh, so-and-so put up 39 points on USC. USC's defense isn't that good. Nah, it's that bottom tier team that you don't think highly of at all. They throw that ball around the rock because they're fast too. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes down in the SEC. Boom, they're recruiting. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they get the straight leftovers from what Alabama and LSU scrape up off of. In Georgia, the straight left. They get their guys, and then everyone gets else. In the Pac-12, It's not the way it goes because, yeah, some of the best players, of course, they're going to want to go to USC, but you have to get into USC. You have to test in USC. Same with UCLA, even more so. If you want to get in USC, if USC wants you, they'll get you. But you can't just show up to UCLA and say, I'm really good at football. You have to have grades to go there. Arizona State, you get in Arizona State, you have to be able to chug 2 beers in a row. It's a low requirement, I get it. But if you can't chug 2 beers in a row, you can't get into Arizona State. Alabama, you barely have to spell your name and you can get into Alabama. Requirements are low. The systems that are played are low. How can a team like a bottom tier team in the SEC like Vanderbilt ever play powerhouse run the ball football against SEC? Against Alabama. Those are two systems just banging up against each other. That's boring football. You go to a bottom tier team in the Pac-12 against USC. That bottom tier team is going to pass that ball all around the yard to try and make something happen. It's fun. It's exciting. It's just as competitive. I don't understand. I feel like 5 years ago it was pretty well known that the Pac-12 was the best conference in the world, and now everybody's all hyped up on the SEC because they bully. I'm pretty astounded by this. Every time I think about it, I start to get pissed off and I want to throw something. Omar Razawi I'm just gonna quote my good friend Omar Razawi right now. I'm having a tough time getting my words out. I'm just gonna quote him because he says sums up exactly what I think. The Pac-12 beats up on each other and they think that's a sign of weakness, when actually that proves how stronger the conference is. Alabama rolls through every single team 59-0. Oh, Alabama's super good. No, everybody they play is slapdick. USC, man, they score a lot of points, but fuck, they're in a lot of close games. They're not that good. No, everybody they play plays some goddamn football. Oh my goodness, I almost pissed myself again. This is happening. I'm peeing. I'm basically peeing because I'm getting upset. Jesus, Murphy. So, what do we do? Because you're going to tell me for some reason the winner of the ACC, they have to get in. Well, what if Cincinnati would have won the ACC on some bullshit? Would you have put them in the college football playoffs? No, you'd been like, oh, the ACC's weak. They don't play anybody. You're only saying that the ACC is a power conference because Clemson's really good. And I'm not taking anything away from Dabo Swinney and Clemson Tigers. They're fucking dope. They probably are. They definitely are the best team in the nation. They probably will win the college football playoffs. But that entire fucking division, the bottom half of the ACC, is stupid. It's actually fucking stupid. It's weak. It's damn near weaker than the SEC. So, we can't just say the winner of the ACC's in, the winner of the Big Ten's in, the winner of the Big 12's in, the winner of the SEC's in, because that's not enough. Because there's another power division out there, that's Pac-12. And I've had plenty of arguments to why they're better. So if we're going to just go straight off the winners of the conference, let's expand the number of teams. Let's get 8. 8 teams. Because then you have 6, maybe 6, because 4, you can't just pick all the conference champions. And you guys don't even want to do that because you have to have some of your bullshit teams. You have to have Ohio State and you have to have Bama. It's got to be 5 to 6 teams, maybe even 7. Let's cut the crap with maybe we just cut the crap with the out-of-conference games. There's a lot of crap that goes on there. Every team in college football plays around 3 out-of-conference games. Let's just take away those, jump right into the fucking league play, and at the end of the year, we'll have an 8-team goddamn bracket. You can have your winner of your straight-up winner of the big conferences. Take Alabama no matter what because everybody wants to suck their balls. And then you take one of these undefeated Mountain West teams, see if they can scare somebody. Because I promise you, one of these years, if you did that a 12-0 random-ass team, that UCF, that throws the ball over the yard, throws the ball 74 times a game, they'll catch Alabama slipping. Because that's what the name of the game is. That's why we play on Sundays. Not to just like practice really hard, play a couple games, and be like, okay, we're the best. No, we work really hard to line up and say, right here, right now, are you the best today? Not are you the best on paper, are you the best in the weight room, are you the best on the field in practice, are you the best in the routes, on the drill cones and shit? No. I'm not worried about how cool your fucking highlight tape is and how long your broad jump is. I'm worried about right here, right now, in this moment, are you going to beat me on this play? Because it's for the game. And I'm trying to see that. Now, I'm going to talk about one thing that's probably that pisses me off the most. Because it's pretty. There's nothing much I can do about the fact that they don't give any kind of love to the West Coast. We're talking about a fucking computer system that ranks teams. I don't know how to talk to that guy. I don't speak code. Then we're talking about the other people who rank these teams, the journalists. The majority of these journalists live on the East Coast or in the South, which is on the fucking East Coast time zone. So by the time that the West Coast teams are playing, they're already in bed. They're not worried about staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch Utah versus Arizona. But if they watched you, because they just think, oh, Utah versus Arizona, it's 12 o'clock at night, I'm going to go to bed. I'm not trying to watch those two slapdick teams of the Pac-12 play. But if you were to watch those two slapdick teams of the Pac-12 play, you'd realize they're not slapdick at all. You'd realize that they would fucking murk the bottom half of your division and that they could guarantee keep up with Auburn. I guarantee you Washington State would fucking beat Auburn. Are they playing in the bowl game? I think they are playing. Washington's playing Auburn in the bowl game. Run that. Run that. So, I get it. I can't change the way that the journalists on the East Coast don't do their job right and stay up late enough to watch the Pac-12 games and realize that, oh, this speed football, this good football where they're playing competitive football against each other, winning late games and losing late games, this is good football. Not that 59-0 shit out in the South. That's bullshit ball. The good football is on the West Coast. I just got to stay up a little later to watch that. I get it. I can't fix that. But what I can do is I can go back into your bullshit system and we can look at the strength of schedule. I get it. You guys think the Pac-12's weak, so let's not talk about the Pac-12. Let's talk about the out-of-conference teams. Let's just pick my favorite team, the USC football Trojans. Let's take the team that everybody else likes. The Alabama fuckwad Tide. Your mascot's a herd of elephants. Tight, a very peaceful animal. Sweet mascot. Mine's a Trojan. Baddest dude in the world. Anyway, your out of conference games were played against Fresno State. City of Fresno, fine city. Not known for its fucking athletics. I mean, they are if you're like an average local kid out of the 209, like a really good ball player out of the 209, you make it to Fresno State. Hey, right on. But if you're like if you're really trying to ball, I was about to say NFL, but Derek Carr went to Fresno State, but let's be real here. They're not UCLA. They're not Arizona. They're not Arizona State. Then Alabama goes and plays Colorado State. Not Colorado. Not the Pac-12 Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado State. Colorado State Rams. Might as well have played St. Mary's Rams. That's a high school team, folks. Might as well have played them. And then, towards the end of the year, a lot of big teams play an out-of-the-conference game towards the end of the year. USC, we played Notre Dame. At the time, they were ranked 4, I believe, 5, 8, somewhere around there in the top 10. They kicked the shit out of us. Get that. Alabama played Mercer College. Not only did they play Mercer College, they paid them to play them. Said, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars to play you. You'll be on national television. We'll kick the shit out of you. People will be like, oh, fuck, I want to go to Mercer College. I want a Mercer College t-shirt. They played Bama once. I'm kind of good at football. Well, I played it once in fucking middle school, but I haven't played since. But I can play on their team. Look at, they suck. So, you're going to tell me that game against Mercer was like a meaningful fucking out-of-schedule game? That's a little fucking shady to me. Little shady to me. At the end of the day, I'm about to throw up again. That's what I think. At the end of the day, I'm about to throw up again because there's not much. I can't defend USC so much. I can talk shit about the system. I can make suggestions, but at the end of the day, as a USC Trojan fan, we definitely didn't play the best ball that I think we could have. I think our offense was stagnant at times. I think we know the deal. I mean, I've only been watching college football for around 10 years, and I know the fucking deal. You don't go if you're in the Pac-12 and you don't go undefeated, if you don't blow teams out by 30 points, you're not getting the playoffs. I would go as to say if we were a one-loss team and we won the Pac-12, we might not have got in. I mean, Bama's a one-loss team. They got in. But I'm not sure we would have. Back in 2003, we were undefeated. And we whooped teams' ass. And yet we had to split the co-championship with Texas. I feel like college football gives out some participation trophies. Hey, Bama, we really liked you. We fucking really did. We know you came up short, but hey, you're good for our brand. You're good for us. We're good for you. Let's just push you along. I get it. I get the fucking game. Let USC play the game. Let USC play the game, and I'll be happy. Because until then, all I'm going to do is get upset, bitch and moan, piss my pants, throw up on people in the middle of lunch. I was having lunch the other day, and I looked at my phone, notification came up, said Alabama jumps Ohio State, gets in the playoff, and I was like, fuck both those teams. And I threw up all over my fries. So I'm not trying to have that ever happen again. And I want college football writers to look at the Pac-12 as a powerhouse football conference that they are, and look at Alabama and Ohio State, and when they play teams out of conference like goddamn Murray State and Mercer and goddamn Alabama State Christian College, I want them to be held accountable. That's all I'm asking. But until then, what do we gotta do? We gotta conform to what we have. We have 4 teams, 4 decent, fucking awesome football teams, to be real. As much as I don't think Bama or Ohio State should have been in, this is going to be an exciting couple weeks of football. So real quick, let's preview. I got Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Bama. Right off the bat, Clemson versus Bama. Bama's being favored already at -3.5. It'll probably drop to around -3. Give me Clemson and the points. Clemson's going to smoke these fools. I don't think this Clemson's team is as good as the past 2. This Bama's team certainly isn't good as this past 2. But fuck you, Bama. You're going to lose. Put your money on Clemson. And then you got Oklahoma versus Georgia. Gosh, I hope Oklahoma wins. Oklahoma versus Clemson would be a shootout. Baker Mayfield is Kenny Powers in a college football uniform. It's pretty sweet watching him play. Flip people off, grab his dick. All that is really cool stuff. So I'm trying to see him in the national championship. And the big game I'm really looking forward to, though, Ohio State plays USC. If Ohio State beats USC, I'll stop talking my shit. All right, I'll shut up till next season. But if USC goes out and smokes Ohio State, I'm going to talk more shit about college football than ever before. So stay tuned for that, people. This has been episode 6. Thank you for listening. I'm still pissed off about college football. I hope you are too. I hope you all voice your opinions loudly. Write your local senators. Try and get something changed up, because I can't have it anymore. And let's make some differences, folks, because we're the youth. We have power. There's strength in numbers. We can all come together and make great change for this great country. We'll start with college football. Right, and then we can work our way to that White House, folks. Let's keep our eyes on things that are really dear to me. College football. Thank you. Run that, episode 6.
Run that podcast. Get your ass up. Run that. run that shit, bitch. Get naked.